story about God. We look for gods at multiple places. So there's a story of a young boy whose dad tells him, no, don't do this. Mom says, Seriya ukandi chapdu nee, kuni no country, keep your back straight. Teacher says, homework panla, naye ulla kunde nee, you don't eat in your room, table ukandi. He is just pissed off. And he is all of 4.5 years old. So he decides to leave home. Awesome. So on backpack he puts, let's say, four tetra pack of chocolate milk or lassi or whatever it is, and he takes one packet of sandwiches which his mom has made for lunch, and he decides he's not going to come back home. He's going to meet God because he wants to complain. So he goes off. This is after school, so he goes off, and little legs, how far can they carry him? So he goes for about a couple of kilometers and he gets tired, his legs start hurting. He wants to sit somewhere and he sees a park. And the park, like in a normal park, there is a little lake and all, there's some ducks lazily swimming around, whatever else. You can imagine the rest of the park, lovely flowers, chrysanthemum, flame of the forest. Sun is setting there, so beautiful hues of crimson and grey and purple and white and red and yellow and scarlet. And the sun is setting, he's just a little chill, his legs are tired, so he sits on the bench. Next to him is an old lady. She's also looking at exactly the same thing which he is looking at. No conversation. He's tired. It's getting dark. A little bit of fear has started creeping in. Fear of being alone. Fear that and I came to meet God and I don't know where to go. So all these are playing through that young 4-year-old mind. So he looks at her and the old lady smiles at him. And for him, it's the most beautiful smile he's seen ever in his life. I instantly disarmed. He takes off his little backpack and he opens, let's say, one of those bottles of lassi or chocolate milk or whatever you want to call it. He opens it and he wants to drink it first, but he looks at that old lady and he gives it to her first. She says, Illa, beta, you drink. So he takes out the other one now and he opens that and he gives it to her. She says, thank you, and she smiles again. It's the best smile he's ever seen in his life, and instantly his heart is warmed. So they both, in silence, drink their milk. Then he takes out a little dabba and he opens that sandwich. She has a sandwich and again she gives him the most glorious toothless smile ever possible. They sit for a while and then she asks him, who are you and what are you doing here? And then she tells him, you must go back home. And she tells him what parents are to a child and how the world works. Normally whatever else a guru is expected to tell a disciple. So he says, okay, and he puts on his backpack again and he trudges back home. I know, home is, initially parents are livid and they want to, scold him, but they realize, boss, he might go again this time for good. So they, like all of us do, control themselves and comes back home. So when he's about to have dinner, meanwhile that old lady, since it's getting dark, she's also gone home. Now her son and daughter are as worried as this little boy's parents, because Maji has gone to the park and not come back, irritated, it's cold also. So she comes back home. Now cut to the scene where in both the houses dinner is taking place and they are seated at the table and having dinner. So till now the parents have told that small boy nothing, because they want him to say it rather than ask, because that's in the real world it doesn't work like that, but in the story it does. So this kid says, they asked him, where did you go? What did you see? So he says, today I met God. And he tells his mother, you know what? God has the most beautiful smile that I've ever seen. Cut to the other house. So the son asks, Amma, you keep going, it's not correct. So she says, I went to the park. And he said, tell me about the park. He said, you know what? I saw God today. He's only 4 years old. And he loves drinking chocolate. So when we want to look for God, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to look anywhere. Look around at the people who work, live around us. Look in the hearts of people. Look around at the things people do. Look around at the people who we've felicitated today. you will see God in some form. Thank you. Jai Hind.